What's going on, guys? This is your model of the IWC Gamers Goon here today. And today we have some big topics at hand. Now, no, this isn't like what I've been doing on the Sunday videos where I've reviewed the shows. I'm going to be honest with you, I've had a very stressful week. Wednesday, my dog passed away, and I've had to pick up shifts at work because I took Wednesday off and I took Thursday off. So I could be with my family or whatever. So work has just been a lot. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I've not had much time to pay attention to wrestling. But this next week, I don't work Monday, and we have something big coming for you on Tuesday. Stick out to Twitter for that, because I will be joining a podcast that will be going on weekly. For the next few weeks, my status on it is going to be iffy because I still have work commitments up until the 27th of this month. But after then, I will be on that podcast full time. But I'm gonna let that still. I'm gonna let y'all wait a little bit and go check out the Twitter on Tuesday when we will be filming for an update about where and when and how and who you can be listening to on Tuesdays and Thursdays. However, we got some big news regarding a certain company, and I could not hold my silence any longer because, let's be honest with ourselves, this is some major news, man. Now, I believe it was Wednesday, maybe Thursday. I'm not really sure on the day exactly, but usually I would record a video about releases. I didn't really see it fit here. There wasn't major names announced. There were surprising names. There was notable names, but I wouldn't say they were like the Samoa Joe type of name that we had to report a while back. Or I wouldn't say it's like that massive. Yes, there was some talented people that were let go, but I would not sit there and tell you that they're game changers. And let's start off with that, and then we're gonna go into what Meltzer said earlier today, which kind of shocked a little bit of people and really just left a bad taste in everybody's mouth when it comes to NXT. But let's start off with the WWE releases on the 6th of August, which was 2 days ago. So that would have been, I think, Friday, maybe Thursday, Friday, something like that. And that is Sean Ross Sapp tweeting out, WWE has released the following: Bobby Fish, part of Red Dragon, part of the whole Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, that initial group there. Obviously not Rod. I mean, Roderick Strong's in the group, but he wasn't in the initial group, so calm down. Bronson Reed, a guy that literally just won the North American Championship not too long ago, lost it all of a sudden, and now he's no longer employed for whatever reason. And to be honest with you, the only other name that might go somewhere and really make a huge difference, and I'm not saying huge, like as in like going in and being a main eventer. I'm saying go in and actually make a difference somewhere. And that's Mercedes Martinez, another one that got released. I think she could go to maybe Impact or Ring of Honor or wherever. Obviously the horse in the room here is AEW. Who knows where she ends up going, but I expect her to be able to be a piece in one of those women's divisions over there. And then we got some okay. I mean, the rest of the names, I would say maybe Leon Ruff and Tyler Rust and Kona Reeves are probably the biggest of the remaining names. Leon Ruff, also a guy who won North American Championship for whatever reason, lost it not too long after. They made it seem like this guy was going to be like a Daniel Bryan type of character, the way they were trying to push this guy with the shock victory of the North American Championship, and then they fell flat with him, and now he's no longer in the company. Jake Atlas is gone. Ari Sterling is gone. Stephon Smith is gone. Zachariah Smith gone. Asher Hale is gone. and Giant Zanjeer is gone. A lot of these guys, I'm going to be honest with you, they're not going to play into anything long term or special or anything like that. The biggest names I would say here to maybe look out for is Bobby Fish, Bronson Reed, Mercedes Martinez, and maybe you could see some of the other few. They're not going to be important pieces on any other show, in my opinion. They could be. I don't want to say enhancement talent, but people that aren't necessarily going to be fighting for a championship. Just be on the show, get you some time, kind of like what Slater was doing for Impact there for a bit. I mean, yes, he did team up in the tag team with Rhino and end up becoming tag team. I mean, yeah, but just in the solo aspect, I could see it being something similar with a couple of these guys where they're going to go over. They're not going to be really major stars, not going to be mid-card stars. They're just going to be there. They're just going to do what they got to do and move on. Get paid. That's really all I see with these guys. Bronson Reed, I don't really know where I could tell you to go. For some reason, I'm thinking New Japan. I would love to see him in New Japan and possibly joining the Bullet Club. Doesn't make much sense. Who knows? But I for some reason, that's what I envision in my mind is Bronson Reed wearing a Bullet Club shirt and joining the Bullet Club. That'd be cool in my opinion. Bobby Fish, I'm going to be honest with you. Bobby Fish is a guy that he's a talented wrestler, but I think the biggest ceiling with Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly is together. So Bobby Fish being on his own, I don't really want to say it because a lot of people are gonna be like, well, not everybody has to go there. Bobby Fish to me, if he's gonna be on his own, definitely feels like a AEW kind of guy. He's gonna be a talented guy. He's gonna go in there. He's gonna do the work. Is he gonna be a top star? Probably not. But he's gonna be in there. He's gonna be a talented wrestler. And then you got that second show of Rampage that's starting up next week. Who knows? Maybe Bobby Fish figures out a way to get into that card and really just solidify himself as being better than what the WWE viewed him in NXT. And obviously, they picked Kyle O'Reilly over him during their unneeded separation, and they had Kyle O'Reilly go off and do his own thing. They obviously didn't see the same thing in Bobby Fish that they did in Kyle O'Reilly. So maybe Bobby Fish can go there, prove him wrong. We've seen it many times where people have gone to other places and proved them wrong. But yeah, for the most part, these WWE releases, I wouldn't say they're major. It just sucks every time we see these WWE releases. And I mean, a few of the guys are guys that I think could be game changers in the WWE if used properly, but I don't really see them translating elsewhere necessarily. Bobby Fish in a tag team looks the best. Bronson Reed, I feel like the way that NXT built him up initially, where he was this lovable babyface, was an amazing story to be told there, where he could have made himself into a star, but they just never did that. Mercedes Martinez, somebody that should come in and should be dominant in whatever women's division she is. She should be built as a legit fighter. Everybody else, they're kind of expendable in my opinion. Then we get into what was necessarily probably the biggest news, and the reason why I decided, you know what, I gotta, no matter how busy I am and no matter how tired and stressed I am, I gotta get a video out tonight because there is one thing that is really pissing me off today. It's really pissing me off, man. Holy shit. I woke up and I see a tweet from JD from New York. I see a tweet from my bro Joseph Conlon. I see my boy Indigo Uchiha spamming me. I see Kevin Cabeza, my guy, spamming me. I see that whole timeline spamming about NXT. I'm like, what the hell is going on now? Is there a release? No, there is not a release, but what did happen is Meltzer said that the wording with the new NXT is that there is no more, and I'm not even going to say the word because I personally do not agree with the word because I do have friends that are not necessarily the tallest and they do not like that word. So I kind of don't really like using that word because I know people that get offended by that word. But replace the word small or short individual with the other one. And they said there's going to be no more of them, and no one starting in their 30s. They want people who can be box office attractions and main characters. So you're telling me that coming up out of NXT, Karrion Kross is not a box office attraction? Adam Cole not going to be a box office attraction? Io Shirai not a box office attraction? There's so many names in NXT that you can mention. Who cares if they're above their 30s? They gotta come if they're not everybody's AJ Styles. I know AJ Styles came and debuted at the Royal Rumble, all fun and dandy. Yeah. What happens when you get a guy like Punishment Martinez, which is now in the WWE as Damian Priest? You think Damian Priest randomly showing up on a SmackDown episode or at a Royal Rumble to a fan base that's not very familiar? Because you got to keep in mind, AJ Styles was one of the most popular guys in all of the independent scene. One of the most popular wrestlers not in the WWE. Some of these guys don't have that kind of credibility where they can just show up and people will know exactly who they are. They got to get familiar with these people through NXT. Because when you think about it, NXT is when you first introduce those people to your audience. Not everybody's going to be sitting here watching AEW, watching New Japan, not watching Ring of Honor, watching whatever, Impact, watching GCW, whatever. They're not going to be watching these independent shows that are going up and down the East and West Coast. They're not going to be watching any of the Midwest ones. They're not going to, not a lot of people that are necessarily the casual viewer are going to be going out and seeking the Japanese wrestling style or the UK style over there. They're just not going to be watching those shows. They're just not. So you introduce them through NXT. Whether or not they're about 30 years old or not, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Now, I'm going to fact check myself because I might be totally wrong on this. Okay, so she would have been called up beforehand. But let's get a random example out here. Perfect. Asuka currently is 39 years old. Her dominant run in NXT was, less than 5 years ago? That means she was above 30. How is Asuka so big now? Well, I mean, it kind of ruined her with losing to Charlotte at WrestleMania, and then I don't really know the direction with Asuka, to be honest with you, but Asuka is one of the more popular women in that women's division. She was above 30. It didn't seem to be the issue then. Karrion Kross, I believe he's above 30. Punishment Martinez, he's above 30. Samoa Joe, he's above 30. There's so many examples that come out of NXT that are above 30. Yes, they do have their younger talent. They do have the younger guys, the younger girls in there that come up and they get able to get there through 24, 25, and then get called up to the main roster around 26, 27. Yeah, there are people like that. But also, you don't see very often nowadays where you're going to have a 30-plus-year-old star be able to come in, debut on the main roster, and actually be impactful. We can't even get a guy like Keith Lee, who was an established character in NXT, on the television each and every week. What makes you think that a random Joe, no matter who, and I'm just going to use him as an example because he's one of the guys that showed up recently on a big show, and that's Jay White. What makes you think if Jay White were to happen to sign with WWE, what makes you think that they'd put Jay White on TV and make him important when they can't even do that with the guys that they made important in their developmental brand, like a Karrion Kross, like a Keith Lee, like a Finn Balor initially, like a Kevin Owens, like a Sami Zayn? And you expect us to sit here and believe that they're just going to be booked properly and they're going to make them look like stars. NXT was the one that made everybody look like a star. NXT did that. Why is everybody so popular? Why was everybody clamoring to see these guys on the main roster? Is it because these guys came in and they were just this huge name? No, it's because they watched what they did in NXT. Everybody enjoyed what they did in NXT, and they said, you know what? I want to see this guy do something on TV each and every week. I want to see this guy be something special. I want to see this guy become a world champion. I want to see him beat the Roman Reigns. I want him to see him beat whomever holds the championships, the Randy Ortons, the John Cenas. I want to see them beat the Drew McIntyres. I want to see them beat Sheamus. I want to see them beat Kofi Kingston. I want to see them beat whomever. I want to see them beat some of the more notable names that the WWE has. Now what? They're just going to come in and just be left to perish? Makes no sense. Makes 0 sense. And then, another thing that came along with this NXT news is, from what we understand, is that Triple H is no longer the man fully in charge of NXT. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know if Triple H still has a say. I don't know how much of a role Triple H has, if Vince completely took it away from him. No, it doesn't matter. With that announcement alone, that Triple H is not the full guy behind NXT, and that single-handedly is not him anymore, with that announcement alone, NXT died. NXT died with that statement. Why? Because when you look at peak NXT, 2016, 2017, 2018, heck, 2019, you could put 2014, 15 in there when you had the Bayley Sasha stuff. Yeah. NXT's been good for a long time. NXT was some of the best wrestling on the planet for about a 5-year span, where NXT was the destination. Everybody wanted to be in NXT because the NXT gold meant more than any other gold in the world. That changed when there became something better. There became an AEW championship that was the most highly regarded championship in all professional wrestling in the fan base. That's when you were at the pinnacle at that point. And once that happened, and once NXT started competing with that, and once Vince McMahon started wanting NXT to compete with AEW in the ratings and started drawing everybody, drawing the Finn Balor's back, drawing Charlotte Flair back, doing all this extra stuff, once that started happening, NXT went on a steep decline, and you could tell each and every week when NXT just wasn't feeling the same, and they were making moves, and they had to go back on the moves because Vince wanted so-and-so up on the main roster all of a sudden. Vince didn't like this person, so they come up to the main roster, they're back down on the whatever, and they're sitting here, and they have to have their champion in Karrion Kross, who has not been defeated a single time in NXT, go out there first night on main roster, lose to Jeff Hardy. Instantly. You think these sort of things would have happened with Triple H's NXT when there was no AEW and Vince wasn't forced to worry about AEW's rating draw compared to the WWE brand, which was directly competing with AEW on Wednesday nights? You don't think that... I guarantee you, if AEW was not here, NXT wouldn't have been touched by Vince McMahon. Wouldn't even have been touched. But ever since there was that man down in Jacksonville that had this brilliant idea to make a division and make a brand called All Elite Wrestling, and that man had the money to be able to outbid him and get the John Moxleys of the world, to potentially get the CM Punks and Daniel Bryans. When there's a man that has money and knows what he's doing, Vince McMahon started scrambling. And that man's Tony Khan. Tony Khan. And I don't want to say this as a negative thing because it's not Tony Khan's fault. But if you are really thinking about it, Tony Khan kind of is the one to ruin NXT. And I'm not saying that as a bad thing about Tony Khan. Tony Khan made a wrestling brand that was supposed to elevate the wrestling world, which it did. But while elevating the independent scene, while elevating Impact, while elevating all these other promotions that AEW was working with, while doing that, while elevating NWA, while elevating everything else, WWE took this, and instead of making what it needed to be happen, WWE decided we are going to try to make this from a wrestling show into the same thing Raw and SmackDown has gone to, a entertainment show. And you want to know why your ratings are decreasing on Mondays and Fridays, Vince? I don't know, Vince, but maybe when we focused on the actual wrestling 5-6 years ago, when we were getting 3.0s, 4.0 ratings, and then we started all doing all this goofy shit, I don't know, maybe that translates. Maybe it's not sports entertainment that sells, Vince. I know you're making a lot of money. I know you're making a boatload of money because you got the Saudi deal, you got the Peacock deal, you got the Fox deal, you got the USA deal. I understand that you're a worldwide brand. I'm not criticizing how you make money, but you want to be. You know how much more money you could make if you weren't leaving money on the table by driving away your fan base? You'd have so much more money, Vince. So much. And all you had to do is book the show like a wrestling show, not this goofy shit. Who the fuck wants to see Alexa Bliss start doing voodoo magic bullshit with a fucking doll? Who the fuck wants to see Nikki Cross run around in a goddamn cape? Who the fuck wants to see one of the most dominant, jaw-dropping characters of NXT who comes out and has this aura to him because he has Scarlett Bordeaux next to him, and he has the smoke, he has the epic music, he has the whole entrance vibe, come out all by himself on a Monday Night Raw? Who the fuck wants to see everything get ruined? You really want to get into it, I can go about Nakamura as well. Nakamura came out of NXT, phenomenal. Then they touched his fucking entrance. The whole thing that Nakamura was popular for, yes, he's a phenomenal wrestler, don't get me wrong, but the aura about him began with that entrance music. And they fucking touched it. Then everything fell off. Then he lost to AJ Styles. And once again, man, everything just falls downhill. There seems to be a trend. I'm not saying it's directly Vince McMahon's fault, but if you are a man that is wanting to make a bet, or a woman that is wanting to make a bet, and you want to put your money on something that is causing WWE to fail, I'd put it on Vince. Why? Because if you look at Vince McMahon, everything he touches goes from gold to absolute dog shit that needs to get thrown in the fucking dumpster. It's that simple. I don't understand how you can be going from something that's so fantastic, something that's critically acclaimed and loved by everybody, to something so shitty that you are fucking driving away a fan base. If I were sitting here 3 years ago and somebody were to tell me that NXT would have this collapse where it just wouldn't be the NXT of old, Triple H wasn't going to be the full guy behind everything, we're going to start seeing entertainment being involved, I would have called you crazy. Why? Because that's not the philosophy NXT was built upon. NXT was built upon gaining an audience for performers through their wrestling ability so that they could have a fan base while going to the main roster. That's what it is built upon. And that's not what it is anymore. And it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame that Vince McMahon sits here and he has his yes man stroke his little ego, sit there, oh, this is a great idea, Vince. Nick Khan is a fucking dipshit. Bruce Pritchard is a fucking dipshit. Fucking goofy ass motherfucker Kevin Dunn is a dipshit. They're all fucking stupid. Instead of sitting there and saying yes to this motherfucker, come out there and say, you know what, we need to change. We are losing our fucking audience. We're not sitting here and we're not gaining viewers. Yeah, we can have a pop here or there because John Cena shows up. This legend shows up. Goldberg's on the show. Who cares about momentary gains? You want to establish yourself as the number one company, you better be putting on 2.5s. You better be putting on 3.0s. You better gain your audience back because the wrestling fan base is not dead. It is waiting. It is a sleeping giant. It just needs you to fix your shit and make your damn show better. Guarantee you, if your show is better, you will have a lot more viewers. You might double viewers. We are just waiting. And you think I'm joking? Wait till The Rock shows up. Wait till The Rock shows up in that feud with Roman Reigns. That is going to be some of the best television we see all of next year. Just between those two. I guarantee you those are the most highly rated segments in the last 5 years. Guarantee it. For the rest of the show, I can't speak. People might not watch. Who knows? But once something interesting is happening, people will tune in. And yes, I know The Rock is a different scenario than having a Roman Reigns and a Finn Balor promotion. But if you had consistently good matches and good feuds all along the board, people wouldn't be DVRing it. People wouldn't be, oh, I got better things to do tonight. I'm going to go eat. There's not going to be people that aren't necessarily jumping at the bit to get there. It's just the way it is. But that's all I really got for y'all today. I just wanted to talk about NXT and get my thoughts out there for y'all. NXT, I hate to say it, but NXT might be dead. It might be a dead concept at this point. If any of the words said today about Triple H not being fully in charge and about them wanting to go away from 30-plus-year-old talent and not hiring smaller guys and smaller women, if any of that is true, NXT has died a long death. And I know a lot of people that have given up on NXT that have been diehard NXT fans from day one. You think these people love the fact that they can't watch one of their favorite shows of the entire year? And no, it's not the. And I know some of these WWE stans are gonna sit there. Well, they're only hating on WWE and saying they're not gonna watch it because it's the cool thing to do. It's a cool thing to do. It's a cool thing to do and come in there and be depressed that your thing that you love, one of the things that you love the most, is dying. It's cool. You know what's cool? Being right about something that you like. Being right about the brand that you appreciate. When you go out there and you say, well, you know what, I believe in this brand because of this, this, and this, and they believe in this philosophy, and they go out there and they still incorporate those philosophies that you were built as being a fan, that makes you proud. That makes you excited. That makes you want to be there. You're not getting that in the WWE right now. You just don't. I'll get out of here. Y'all know where to find me on Twitter, GamersGoonYT, Instagram, thegoongameryt. Make sure y'all like and subscribe and comment down below what y'all think of this NXT news that has came out for us. And yeah, big news Tuesday, Thursday. Watch out. Gonna be checking that Twitter because we do got an announcement. On those 2 specific days, we do have a podcast that will be airing with some special people. But I'm not gonna fully disclose who those people are. I'm gonna make you wait a little bit. Anyways, thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all next time. It's been your role model of the IWC. Hopefully, I get more videos out to you tomorrow. I know I will be getting a Raw video out because I do not work tomorrow for the first time in literally since last weekend. Outside of the 2 days I took off in the middle of the week, but the 2 times that I actually get to have a break and actually get to just relax for once, that's going to be tomorrow. And then I got a full work week after that, so it's whatever. But I'll see y'all next time. Thank y'all for watching. Gamers Goon.